Hey guys, it's JJ. Welcome back to the Eagles franchise. Welcome to Draft Day. If you missed the first part of the offseason and I was going through the draft prospects, you gotta go check out the last video. But today it's just gonna be the draft and we're gonna hop right in. We got the first two picks because we were the worst team last year and the Dolphins owe their first round pick to us. So we got the first two picks and then another one at 17. First pick overall, I already talked about it. Sean Keaton looks like an absolute monster. 6'6", 319. He's 23, a little bit older, but what a combine! Look at the letter grades. He is just a monster, and there is no way around it. I am gonna pick him. I was sure of that as soon as I saw his combine grades, and well. Hidden Dev, pretty happy about that. Also 75 speed and 80 XL is pretty good for an offensive lineman, I'd say, and 93 strength. Happy about that. Second overall pick. I was thinking a lot about it. I didn't want to take a quarterback. I'm going to give Jalen Hurts one more year. I didn't like the top corner. Freddie Mayo, 5'9", is a little bit small for a cornerback. And so then I was left with basically two options at middle linebacker, which is our weakest position, Mike Middleton and Steve LaRoe. But I liked Middleton a little bit better, and he has 4.53 speed, and I also like his letter grades. The only one that's a little bit bothering me is stamina, but B injury is also good to know at middle linebacker. And he looks fine. 89 speed, 87 XL, 82 strength, but only normal dev. And that was also a reason I was picking him, because he was the higher ranked in the top 10 and Steve LaRoe was not ranked in the top 10. And so I thought I'd have a better chance at getting hidden dev, but I didn't there. So we're moving on. I was just content letting this run till our next pick at 17 and look at the options available. I thought that it was a pretty good move of the Broncos and Chargers here to take the best quarterback available and the best corner, even though he's a little bit small, but maybe he fits the Chargers. And the next pick was the Lions, and they take a quarterback out of Texas, Bobby Harrington, and he's going to be their guy for the future. The Jets on the clock now, and well, they select James McElroy, and he's gonna sit behind Zach Wilson, and that guy is gonna be sitting behind Jameis Winston. What a stupid move. Thanks, EA. Next up is the Bills, and they take an edge rusher out of Louisville, Matthew McLeod. And the Texans are going to take the top guard in the class. He had F injury, which was a factor that I wasn't a fan of, and thus I was not considering him. Next cornerback, Tyler Cummings. He was the only cornerback I was thinking about being a bust of all those cornerbacks in this class. And Steve LaRoe goes to the Jets. Good pick there. After the quarterback pick, they finally make an impact with their first round selection. And then at 11, the Vikings. On the clock, they take Dante Burnett. I scouted him, I liked him, but he had revealed that his injury rating wasn't that great, so I didn't want to trade up for him. And then the Saints were on the clock, and they get another one of those top tackles. I scouted him, he looked fine, but nothing special, and so I didn't want to trade up for anybody there. The Falcons on the clock, they take also an edge rusher out of Louisville, two of them. How fun is that? And the Steelers on the clock, they are going to take another cornerback. I liked him as well, but he didn't have the speed I was looking for, and all around athleticism wasn't anything great. So I was content just waiting it out, see who's there, and take the top prospect on the board. Drew Grooms is going to go to Washington. We're going to play him twice a year. He's going to take over immediately as the starting quarterback, and those are the four top quarterbacks in the draft. And then with Manny Richardson, the Ravens take an edge rusher, and I was on the clock. And the top prospects were two guards and three cornerbacks. And Brian Richardson had a monstrous combine. He looked so good. But I already selected an offensive lineman, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that again. Freddie Scandrick was the other guard option. He also had a pretty good combine, really great strength as well, and his letter grades looked really solid as well. And then the top cornerback on my board was Chris Madden, 6'1", 193, 23 years old, with the top 40-yard dash in this cornerback class. Elite speed. This is what I'm looking for at cornerback. And I won't even bother to show you all the other cornerbacks because Chris Madden has B press, B man coverage, and C zone. And that is why I am drafting him. And he has hidden dev, 95 speed, 93 jumping, 96 change of direction. He looks like a stud. Chris Madden out of Memphis is the pick here, and I love the pick. And then I was waiting on Jonathan Rivera. He was projected to go early second, but in the mocks he went at 31 to the Bucks usually, and so I was kind of tempted to just wait out the 20s and then trade up a few picks to get back into the end of the first round and get him there. Meanwhile, the Raiders take an edge rusher we were supposed to take according to the mock drafts, and Rodgers gets a first round receiver, Max Woodard, the best receiver in this class supposedly. The Cardinals get a edge rusher, Elton McCoy out of Alabama, and then the top tight end goes to play with Trevor Lawrence. So they have a fun new weapon to utilize. He looked pretty solid as well, but don't need a tight end. Already got Dallas Goedert. And then the Panthers take Alec Brackett, a really solid edge rusher out of Auburn. And the Lions again on the clock, and they get a safety. I really didn't pay much attention to him, but we're gonna check him out later. And then Titans have Derrick Henry, but you know what? You never can have too many running backs, and so they take Kawhi Green, which was my favorite running back actually. And then at 27, the Patriots take a left tackle that was really solid as well. And then Zeke gets a backup named Philip Malone. Actually, it's Tony Pollard, and Malone is going to be his backup. And then the Giants already selected Heisman-winning running back Callaway. Now they take a defensive tackle, Zaire Ware. And then I traded up because Rivera was still there, but I was afraid he was going to go to the Bucks. And so I spent a 5th round pick, or tried to spend a 5th round pick at least. And they are taking the deal. So we're going to trade up here, 3 spots. Didn't want to trade up with our division rivals before that. But yeah, Jonathan Rivera is 23 years old, and he has good traits. I really love his traits. And he has solid athleticism, but the one thing I was really excited about: A, finesse moves, B, pursuit, and B, tackling. This guy knows how to get after a quarterback, and I was willing to spend a 1st round pick on him, and he has hidden dev. He looks so good. 87 excel, 83 speed. He can get around a tackle, and with that, I sniped him away from the Buccaneers, who then go get Matt Love, a defensive tackle with some injury issues. And then the Super Bowl pick, Mike Wall, a middle linebacker. Wasn't too excited about him, but we'll check him out later as well. And then the Chiefs get their safety they probably wanted to get anyway, Dylan Bonds. I was considering him, but I was happy having Kayvon Wallace for now. And then Brian Richardson goes there in the 2nd round. My new strategy was to wait until one of those few prospects I still had on the board for like 2nd round fell to like the mid 20s in the 2nd round, spend a 4th round pick, trade back up from our 3rd round pick. But yeah, they were going fast. Jermichael Farrell was another linebacker that was looking pretty solid. He actually had the fastest 40, but wasn't too excited about his letter grades. And then Morris Davidson was the 2nd corner I was considering with Chris Madden, and he goes there to the Jets. And the 3rd corner was Travis Starling. He looked pretty solid as well. I scouted him and he goes to the Bills. And then the Texans go get a receiver. Brian Mathis, will check him out later. And we're gonna move on. Bobby Preston, a right guard for the San Francisco 49ers. The few prospects I still had left on my board for the second round were usually mostly guards and secondary players, but also a couple linebackers and that edge rusher right there, Norman Stein. And well, in the middle of the second round, they started to go. Freddie Scandrick fell all the way down there, but I still didn't want to give up a lot of picks. And then Chris Flynn went a lot earlier than I expected. He was probably going to be my selection at the first pick in the third round. And then Joshua Booth went, and another great guard went, Barry Teague. He goes to the Giants. We're going to play him twice here. And then Chip Riddle, a middle linebacker with injuries, goes. And so nobody was left in the mid-20s of the second round, and I just waited it out to pick 65 and get a left tackle with the best 40-yard dash and great bench press. Actually, his profile looks to me more like a guard than a tackle, and the only problem I had with his letter grades is stamina, but he looked solid, and I didn't even think about anybody else there because he looked so good. 89 strength and hidden dev looks solid. 81 acceleration and 73 speed. I think he's going to be a great guard for the future, or maybe be a tackle. And well, yeah. After that, I was waiting on safeties. I still had to sign a free agent safety, but I didn't. And so I wanted to take one of those safeties in the draft. There were about 5 options in the third round, and I just waited till they started to go, and there is the first one. And then the Jets were on the clock, and they take another one. And then I got scared. I didn't want to wait too long, and so I decided to trade up with the Buffalo Bills, get up 26 spots, and get the fastest safety still on the board. And that was a guy named Taylor Anderson. He is 21. He's 6'3", 210, but he had the fastest 40 of the good free safety prospects remaining. And also it said he had elite speed, but his 40-yard dash didn't show it. So I was a little bit confused, but I still wanted to take him, and his letter grades were kind of average-ish. Not sure exactly, but he had a pursuit, which gets him a lot of tackles, and he has 93 speed and 90 acceleration. That looks solid, really solid. 6'3" safety at 21 years old, has normal dev, probably not going to be anything special, but he's going to be a good safety there. And then I wanted to wait on Terrell Brooks. He was supposed to be a 5th round pick, and he went way early. And so I just waited for the next selection, and my options were a tackle that had a positive story about him, which meant that he probably would have hidden dev, but his athleticism is not good, and he has F run block, and D pass block does not look good. A linebacker I really liked. He had a solid 40-yard dash. 4.64 is not terrible for a linebacker, and his letter grades were pretty exciting as well as his traits. He had really good traits. And the third option was Mitch Slaughter, a receiver. He's a little bit slow. I liked his traits though, and he has solid speed, it says there, so I expected 88, 89 speed. Also has A spec catch and C catch in traffic, so not terrible letter grades. And then Ron Hawthorne, he looked solid as well, a lot smaller than Slaughter, but fastest 40-yard dash, and he also had some good spec catch. And well, I decided I was gonna take Ruben Haywood. I just like his traits too much. He's 22, and I still needed another linebacker, and he looks okay, I'd say. 88 acceleration, 83 speed, and normal dev. Doesn't look too horrible. We'll check him out later. as we do. And then I wanted to wait for a guard, Stevie Bailey, but he went, and so I decided to just wait it out, get to the 6th round, just take who's there. And then Casey Madden goes to the Cowboys, and we'll check him out later as well. And in the 6th round, we were right there, just taking the best selection possible. And for me, that was Clay Riley. Look at the combine. First in 40-yard dash, first in bench press, 5th in vert jump, 4th in broad jump. He was gonna have really good acceleration and great speed, and his traits looked fine. His letter grades, not all that exciting, but I took him, and he has hidden dev in the 6th round. 91 strength, 81 excel. Happy with that. He's gonna be a great building block for the future if his overall holds up as well. And then in the 7th round, I just took who's there. He was, for me, the best option remaining on the board. 6'2", 235, and solid speed apparently. A spec catch, C catch in traffic. B stiff arm also. He was gonna be able to break some tackles, and I liked it. Normal dev though, but 89 speed, 88 excel, 87 change of direction, so he can also he can move a little bit for being 235, and at the worst he would be a tight end. 6'2" tight end at 235. And well, that's gonna be the draft. We're gonna go to the recap, and it looks amazing. Sean Keaton, 79 overall. Mike Middleton, 77. Madden, 76. Jonathan Rivera, 74. Cameron Robinson, 72. Taylor Anderson, 77. And Ruben Haywood is our only bust, because even Riley and Slaughter, 71 and 69 overall. This draft looked amazing. Sean Keaton, 79 overall. 6'6", 319. Franchise left tackle, no question about it. He looks so good. Good pass protector to start out with, but also the running ratings are really solid. And then Mike Middleton, 89 speed. I like his hit power and his awareness, 61 zone coverage, and goes for the ball as well sometimes. Chris Madden, I liked him as well, and 75 press, 75 man coverage, 68 zone. So not perfect, but you can work with that. In year 2, he's going to be really good. And then Jonathan Rivera, 80 finesse moves. That is what I'm talking about. He knows how to get after the quarterback. And yeah, he has 86 injury, not that great. Madden also doesn't have the greatest injury rating, but yeah. Cameron Robinson, pass block a little low, sadly, but other than that, he is going to be solid. And I moved him to guard. Taylor Anderson, 21 years old, great speed, fine zone coverage, good tackling, good pursuit, great hit power as well. And yeah, he looks like a stud safety, but he has not hidden dev. Ruben Haywood looked okay. He may be a bust, but 63 overall is a little bit lower than I expected. On the other hand, Clay Riley looks really good. 91 strength, 76 block shedding, 71 power moves. That is a foundation to start out. And Mitch Slaughter looks really good. I did not expect it, but he looks really solid. Look at the catching ratings. He has 81 release, which is best in class. He has the best release in the class. He can juke and spin out some people if he wants to. Really happy with our draft. Look at Patrick Ferguson, hidden dev, 92 throw power, great accuracies, but slow as Freddie Mayo, 94 speed, great man and zone coverage. His press is low though, and I mean, he's 5'9", what do you expect? So happy I didn't select him actually. And then Bobby Harrington, only 70 overall and normal dev, 93 throw power though, and solid accuracies. I think he's gonna be their future QB. James McElroy was the one quarterback I was excited about, and he has 86 throw power, solid accuracies across the board, and from all the quarterbacks, in this class. He had the second fastest 40, I think. He has 78 speed, it's not great, but 89 excel at least. You can get out of the pocket and do something. Tyler Cummings to the Dolphins, and that was maybe more of a bust. He did not look great to me, and I didn't want to select him. And then Steve LaRoe was the other option I was considering, but I'm happy I did select Mike Middleton. They both are solid linebackers, but both of them only normal dev. And then Dante Burnett, a cornerback I liked, only normal dev, solid speed, good zone and press, and, well, 78 injury. Deshaun Dunbar, 21, and he has hidden dev. He didn't have the press I was looking for, and his man coverage is pretty bad as well. But he's going to be a solid cornerback for the Steelers. Drew Grooms, we're going to face him, and he looks like the best quarterback in the draft. 76 overall, 95 throw power. His accuracies looks really fine. Slow as well, just like Patrick Ferguson, but yeah, they got away with a great quarterback. And then the Giants. They have the Heisman winning running back Kerry Callaway, and he looks solid, really solid. The Bengals get Alexander Poole, 88 excel, 82 speed. Not the greatest linebacker prospect, but 81 finesse moves. He's going to be a good pass rusher. And then I had no idea that this guy was a thing. I never looked at him. J.R. Merriweather. They got a stud safety. He's the number 2 player in the class, and he has such great ratings at 78 overall. Kawhi Green, for me, was the number 1 running back from all those in the draft class, and he is 77 overall. Looks so good. Devin Belser to the Patriots. They got value after value after value in this draft, and Belser is one of them. Philip Malone is going to be the 3rd string running back behind Zeke and Pollard, but he looks good as well. This was a loaded running back class, and the wrong 3 teams took the running backs. And the Giants later came back in the first round and got a really good defensive tackle that is a little bit injury prone, but he looks like a monster. 88 strength and great block shedding power moves already, good finesse moves. And then Mike Wall, he was a linebacker I was looking at and didn't take, but he looks pretty solid, and also a hidden dev. He has already good zone coverage as well. And then the Chiefs, they traded down 3 spots, still got their great safety Dylan Bonds, 90 speed, 90 excel, 76 zone coverage, and also good pursuit. Another defensive tackle I liked but was injury prone. All the top defensive tackles were injury prone, by the way. He looks really good as well. Not as good as Whale, but really good still. And then the Lions come back and take another stud player. This time it's a linebacker. I did not think he was going to be that great, but 91 speed, 82 hit power, and great tackling. This guy is going to be good. The Lions are set for the future. And then the Jets got one of the cornerbacks I was looking at, Morris Davidson. Great press, fine zone, good speed, like him. Travis Starling was the other cornerback I was looking at. He doesn't have the press, sadly, and he just has fine speed, nothing great, but 72 zone coverage. He's still gonna be good. And then the apparently best receiver in the draft class, Brian Mathis, 2nd round to the Texans. 92 speed, great catching ratings, great route runner, 74 release. If 74 release is your weakness, you are really not having any problems at all. And then Al Levy, he was the number 2 or 3 player in the entire draft class. 95 strength, great block shedding and power moves. I never took a look at that guy. Freddie Scandrick, good guard. Little bit lower overall than I would have expected off of his draft profile, but I was looking at him. And the Bengals in the 2nd round come back and take a linebacker, hidden dev, also 91 speed. So many great linebackers in this draft class, and I didn't even know it. Riddle, though, has 79 injury, and that is why I really wasn't interested at all in him. And then Cassidy Newsome, liked him, just didn't see the need to go get another edge rusher, but he looks solid as well. And then Terrell Brooks, one of the top O-linemen. He kind of looks almost better than Sean Keaton, but yeah, I missed out big time on Terrell Brooks. I really liked him. And then Chris Madden's brother, Casey Madden, the receiver, gets drafted to the Cowboys, so they are going to face each other. Great speed and acceleration, great catching ratings, and he's going to play in the slot, no doubt about it. His deep route running is his big weakness, but the Cowboys, considered, they had a pretty great draft class. Their first pick, of course, was so unnecessary, drafting a running back in the first round and then having Zeke as well, but they had a fine draft. And then Washington also had a really good draft, quarterback and guard, and then get an edge rusher later, get another center later. They had a really good draft. And then the Giants, Kerry Callaway, they get one of the top defensive tackles in the league. They get a solid guard who's going to start right away. They also get a good edge rusher there, get another center at 69 overall, and even in the 5th round, they get a 68 overall linebacker. And then in the 7th, they come back and get a receiver at 69 overall. So they had a fine as heck draft. And then after the draft, I had a little bit of an issue because I did not realize that I would have negative minus 10 million cap space. And so the one player I was able to cut or move that would not incur like a huge penalty was Javon Hargrave. There was one team in the entire league that was able to take him from a cap room perspective, and they also needed a defensive tackle like really badly. So I traded them, got a 3rd and a 5th back for the future, and really happy about that move. And Clay Riley can start right away. Split snaps with Kalen Saunders, by the way. And then the only free agent addition that is really worth mentioning is Devontae Randall. 69 overall, rookie here, undrafted free agent. Didn't have him on my board, but he was looking really good. And of course, if you enjoy the video, I would appreciate it if you like and subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. And at the end, we're just going to take a look at the roster in its current state. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback of the future for now, but if he doesn't play well this season, I might replace him. Miles Sanders is the number 1 running back, but he's going to split snaps with Kenneth Gainwell. So this is going to be like not with one featured back, but 2 featured backs, by the way. And then for receivers, Devontae Smith, of course, the number 1 receiver. And in the slot, it's going to be Jalen Reagor, but he's going to have to compete with the snaps against Devontae Randall and Quez Watkins. And then Mitch Slaughter is going to compete for the number 2 spot on the outside as the C receiver, with JJ Arcega-Whiteside and Miles Boykin, who I signed in free agency. So the 3 big body receivers are going to compete, and the 3 smaller body receivers are going to compete for the slot there. Devontae Randall looking really solid. And then tight end, all set, Dallas Goedert, Thaddeus Moss, who's also going to be the fullback, and Caleb Wilson. I'm so happy with all of our tight ends. And then Lane Johnson, he comes back, did not retire. He's going to be the right tackle. Brandon Brooks also came back, did not retire. He's going to be the right guard. Jason Kelce came back, did not retire. And, well, Landon Dickerson is going to lose his starting spot to Cameron Robinson. And Sean Keaton is going to take over at left tackle for Jordan Mailata, because both of those guys did not have a great last season. And maybe they will have a role as soon as one of the other 3 guys along the offensive line is going to retire, which I suspect might be next season then. For the defense, Brandon Graham is going to be the starter at left end, and he's going to have Derek Barnett as his competition there, going to kind of split snaps there. For defensive tackle, Fletcher Cox, Clay Riley, and Kalen Saunders are the 3 top guys. Milton Williams behind them. If somebody gets injured, he's probably going to get some snaps as well. but Saunders and Riley are going to split the defensive tackle 2 snaps. For right end, Josh Sweat and Jonathan Rivera are going to share snaps. Rivera is probably going to be more in a backup role, but he has hidden dev, and if you don't play the hidden dev rookies, they're losing their dev. As cornerback 1, still Darius Slay. He still looks good. Lost a little bit of athleticism through regression, but yeah. Avante Maddox is going to be the slot corner for now. And on the outside, on the other side is Dante Jackson. Signed him to a 3-year deal in free agency. He was our one big signing. And then Chris Madden for now is the number 4 corner, but I might play a lot more dime personnel when I should be playing nickel because we don't have a great second linebacker, and Chris Madden is going to see the field that way. Strong safety, Kayvon Wallace. He was a backup last year, and he looks good with the athleticism. For linebackers, Mike Middleton is the top guy. Javen White going to be the second guy. He has the better zone coverage. Ruben Haywood probably going to be a backup for now. And free safety is going to be Taylor Anderson. He is the top guy there. Sadly, he has only normal dev, but really excited about his skill set. And to finish this episode, I want to talk a little bit about the draft class, because this is by far the best Madden class I have ever seen. The best CPU generated Madden class I have ever seen. I had to go down 56 spots in the draft recap to find somebody below 70 overall. The first 69 or lower overall player was at spot 56, so that is late second round. Usually there is first round busts at the 65 or 60 overall mark in the late first round, usually in usual draft class, but that draft class was so freaking good, and it was also the deepest offensive line class I have ever seen. There's probably going to be 20 or 25 offensive line starters alone in this class, and a bunch of really good linebackers. I got so unlucky with the hidden dev because there were at least 3 middle linebackers going in the second round that had hidden dev and also still were really good at like 70, 75 overall. And yeah, well, that's gonna do it. Next episode is gonna be preseason and roster cuts after that, and getting ready for season 2 in the Eagles rebuild. That's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe for more Eagles franchise. See you in the next episode. Until then, spread some love.